The fourth and fifth industrial revolution, powered by digital technology, has created enormous opportunities for global competitiveness amongst descending countries. One area that is beaming prospects for Africa and Nigeria, the region's largest economy, is the fintech industry. As the major driver of investment in the past 3 years, stakeholders in the industry gathered for the 7th edition of the Nigeria Fintech Week, which focused on resilience, innovation, and diversification. Giving the opening remarks, Mr. Ade Bajomo, President of Fintech Association of Nigeria, said in second quarter 2023, the country accounted for 42% of deals in Africa.
It is with great pleasure that the Fintech Association of Nigeria, its board of trustees, we have our chair of the board and a few board members here, governing council members who are here in numbers, members of staff, and our many partners to bring you this event, as we've always done. The Nigeria Fintech Week is an opportunity to showcase new thinking, solutions, thought leaderships, and products by our fintech ecosystem as we seek to connect, accelerate the development of, and advocate for fintech firms. The theme and overarching focus for this year's meeting is fintechs, resilience, innovation, and diversification. A rather apt title at this time of massive global social, economic, and political changes as the fintech industry operates in a dynamic and challenging environment where resilience, innovation, diversification are key to success and essential for fintech firms to thrive in a competitive, highly regulated, and rapidly evolving industry. According to Fintech Global Research, as of Q2 2023, Nigeria attracted 42% of the share of fintech deals in Africa, making it still the most attractive destination on the continent. We now have some 250 active fintech firms and over 6,000 startups registered at various acceleration incubation hubs and financial services institutions, with 40 million people yet to be financially included in Nigeria. The opportunities remain enormous, but not just in fintech. The opportunities are there in agri-tech, insurtech, edtech, health tech, regtech, prop tech, and blockchain adoption, to name but a few. So I urge innovators and investors to continue to explore the broader areas of tech as a way, not just pay tech or fintech. As we continue to grow our ecosystem, we're proud that Nigeria has the highest number of unicorns in Africa, and this platform is here to encourage not just the existing unicorns, but the next generation of unicorns that will power Africa's socio-economic development.
In his remarks, the Director General of the Nigeria Country Office of the Africa Development Bank, Mr. Lamin Barrow, who represented the President, said since 2012, the DFI has invested over $4 billion in ICT hubs and digital tech startup initiatives across the region.
The African Development Bank strongly believes that a resilient, innovative, and diversified fintech sector is key to accelerating economic transformation in the continent. In the words of President Adesina, and I quote, "With the right investments in innovation and smart digital technology growth, the obstacles to achieving financial inclusion and greater economic opportunities for all will be overcome," unquote. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, the African Development Bank is supporting African countries to bridge the infrastructure and knowledge gaps, create conducive business environments to promote entrepreneurship and innovation in fintech industries, and upskill our youths to be prepared for the jobs of the future. Since 2012, the bank has invested about $2 billion in 40 innovation and ICT investment projects across the continent. Most significantly, this includes $170 million in financing for the investment in digital and creative enterprises project in Nigeria, better known as IDICE, whose major component will be to establish venture capital funds that will finance startups in the digital and creative industries.
The opening session of the conference also featured goodwill messages from Mr. Musa Jimo, Director of Payment Systems, Central Bank of Nigeria, and the U.S. Consul General, Mr. Will Stevens.
The choice of the theme for this event, I don't know, I'm not sure that Bajomo contacted anybody from CBN, because it was like this entire week is choosing to discuss things that are very dear to our hearts. So what would be the parting message to the fintechs today? It is to let you know that the central bank of today is the central bank that's very open, a central bank that you can reach out to, a central bank that if you have any new idea you can share with, so that it's the entire market space, it's works symbiotically. We don't want a situation where people are working in island, where the market conduct is very wacky and all of that. We want a situation where we can all work together. I guess the new word now is co-opetition. So we are all competing, but we are all cooperating together. It's very, very important.
We need African solutions to African problems. You've heard that? Yeah? I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong because we need African solutions to global problems. We need to bring the solutions that you're developing to emerging markets and markets around the world. The problems that we face are too big to be focused on one continent. They're too big that we have to think about them just myopically. Oh, Africa, you have these problems, you go fix them. We need to be working together to address things like climate change, banking the unbanked, digital access together.
Highlights of the event was the launch of the Nigeria Fintech Whitepaper, powered by Fintech Nigeria in collaboration with Huawei Technologies.
Today is my great honor to launch this Nigeria Fintech Cloud Adoption White Paper with Fintech NGR together. It's free and you can download it from our website. Well, you can scan the QR code by your phone. So with this kind of white paper, you can have another choice to get better cost-effective cloud service from Huawei Cloud. And you can also enjoy local support cloud service from Huawei Cloud. And you can also enjoy another kind of ecosystem from China. Yes. So, everybody, let's cheers. We launch this for you, okay?
The event also featured presentations, panel sessions, product pitches, and fireside chats that covered the theme of the conference. Mr. Ade Bajomo, Mr. Lamin Barrow, and Mr. Kim Lawal speak on the prospects for the fintech industry amidst global socioeconomic challenges and regulatory headwinds.
The ecosystem is still pretty nascent, and if we ignore regulation and compliance, then we will not be resilient. And that's why this year's fintech theme for the conference is about resilience, innovation, and diversification. And the timing could not be even more apt, because look at the world today. There's inflationary pressures, there's geopolitical issues of a scale that we've not seen probably in generations, and all of these have an impact on our ecosystem. It has an impact on how investors decide to invest their money. So if you look back 2-3 years ago, a lot of money was pouring purely into fintechs. Yeah, right now, and I use the word fintechs in the most broadest sense. So agri-tech, meditech, regu-tech, prop tech and co. Yeah. Right now, even fintechs have to effectively compete for that same capital. So it's really excellent news that Nigeria is still driving or controlling about 42% of deals that are coming into Africa. But the value of the deals is also declining as well. Not because fintechs, but because there's a higher criteria, there's a higher standard. So Fintech Association, we decided as an association body that what we need to do is help our fintechs, if you like, build more muscle. And that's why we have this year's topic. And you'll see a lot of key speakers who are talking and doing justice to the subject matter. You've heard from the central bank. We've seen some of the biggest investors, talking about learning to fail well. Failing is not a subject we like talking about, but learning from failures and the right type of failure is actually also good. And that's what we hope people will do here in this conference. Take something away that you can apply to become more resilient, to become more innovative and diversify. And that's why we have the audience and the panelists to actually guide us through that. But more importantly, we want people who are here to be curious. Just find out what's going on. find out about the new ideas. How can you actually bend yours to even surpass what you're seeing as well, really, and form new connections? Get to know people, get to connect, and hopefully get to grow your business.
In the first instance, we are supporting countries to bridge the infrastructure and digital, particularly gaps and knowledge gaps, which will be key to driving business, productivity, and growth. As I mentioned in my keynote speech, we are supporting in Nigeria the investment in digital and creative enterprises program, which essentially is aimed at promoting entrepreneurship and innovation in the digital and creative industries. And one of the ways in which we're going to do it is to support the establishment of a venture capital fund where startups in these spaces will be supported through loans, grants, and equity capital, depending on what stage of the entrepreneurship cycle they are. So we are also supporting countries to build the necessary backbones so that connectivity to internet in terms of access at affordable rates can enhance the role of digital economy, and also leveraging digital platforms to support all sectors of the economy.
Yes, we have as an industry created more than 20,000 jobs now. But actually, I believe we've impacted almost 1 million livelihoods, and I will explain. Over the last 3 years, the number of people who have started building a livelihood because they're able to offer financial services as agents on the agent network is one of the reasons why that channel is becoming one of the biggest in the industry today. When we last did a survey about 3, 4, 5 months ago, the average agent was earning 20 to 25,000 naira a month, which was sufficient for them to be able to take care of their needs. So in terms of being able to create empowerment and livelihood, I think the fintech industry is having that impact. If you want to look at policy generally, I would personally argue that a lot of the policies that have come in the last couple of years have been a collaboration between the industry and the regulators, right? And I'll probably say it's heartwarming that is happening. The challenge for us as an industry is compliance to those regulations, right? And the onus is on us as players and industry practitioners to be more compliant, right? Now, if we talk about that, then you'll find that the collaboration between the fintech, the regulators, the policy making, and then policy execution and enforcement will probably be the trigger that we need to take us to where we want to go.
With the remarkable impact of the fintech industry on the Nigerian economy, resilience, innovation, and diversification are the core pillars that must lead the ecosystem to be a key driver of sustainable economic transformation and inclusion.